today we're talking about how to lose weight and belly fat with probiotics. So here's what we're going to cover today. So we're going to cover the number one natural alternative to Ozempic, how to shrink your fat cells with probiotics, how to control appetite and burn more fat, foods and good bacteria for mental health, anxiety, and depression, foods and good bacteria for blood sugar balance and diabetes, foods and good bacteria for weight loss and belly fat, and the steps you need to take now to improve your gut health and lose belly fat. So we're just going to go through this, and there's going to be some opportunities for you guys to ask questions and stuff. But if you have anything, like, you can kind of just interrupt me, and we can chat about it. If you guys don't know who I am, I don't think there's anybody really new on the call, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this here. I'm a certified FDN practitioner, gut specialist, holistic nutritionist, health and weight loss coach, and founder of Coach with Chris. I've been helping women with their health and weight for over 15 years. I developed a passion for health after losing both parents. My mom passed away from diabetes and colon cancer. My dad passed away from a stroke. All these things happened to me by the time I was 21. And I've completed over 50,000 client sessions and wrote a book called Keep the Weight Off. And I realized that to get real results with your health, you must treat the body as a whole entire unit. So here's just a reminder just to grab your worksheet or to grab a piece of paper. In order to get the most out of today's discussion, we're going to use the worksheet to record any symptoms or things you need to work on. You can focus on foods you need to eat and jot those down there, as well as good bacteria you need to focus on. And you can make any notes and stuff that you kind of need to do. So let's do a little quick recap on digestion, because digestion really is the key behind everything. Like, the root of your digestion is in your intestines. So if your digestion is not working properly, you simply cannot be healthy. So your gut is home to your immune system and serotonin production. It's responsible for a lot of things, and it really keeps you balanced in lots of ways. So when things are not going right, or things that could be coming up of symptoms as far as your gut could be talking to you, you can notice things like constipation, poor sleep, headaches, abdominal pain, excessive gas, chronic colds, acid reflux, IBS, and of course, things like disease. Digestion begins in the mouth and continues through the esophagus, stomach, small intestines, and colon. And the job of the liver and the pancreas is to deliver enzymes and bile to break down your food. So you have to be able to absorb fat-soluble vitamins. So those are vitamins A, D, E, and K, which are stored in the body's fatty tissues, and water-soluble vitamins. Those are things like biotin, folate, which is folic acid, B3, which is niacin, pantothenic acid, B1, which is thiamine, B2, which is riboflavin, B6, which is pyridoxine, and vitamin B12, B13, and vitamin C. So the main goal of digestion is to sort out nutrients, good nutrients from bad nutrients, so your body can assimilate what it needs to thrive. So now that we understand a little bit more about digestion, how it works, we can talk more about the importance of good and bad bacteria. There must be a balance of good and bad bacteria in your body for healthy digestion. The ratio is 85% good bacteria to 15% bad. Okay, so what ratio of bacteria do you guys think you have currently? Would you
So
guys say?
if we have any of those symptoms, how much do you think it throws off the ratio?
If you have any of those symptoms, I mean, you probably say, it could be like maybe 70-30, depending on how much you have. If you have like a good number of symptoms, it's going to really throw your ratio off.
Yeah.
So maybe like 60-40, 70-30. And it all depends. We're going to get in more to this in a minute, but just how much good versus how much good food versus bad food you've been eating.
كان عنده ميتنج about the diet والأوزامبيك اللي أنا باخدها اديها لي صحيح
Here.
كويس بس لازم اخدها دلوقتي.
Okay, so take a moment and jot that down in your worksheet, and then we're going to continue with that. So your gut flora consists of a complex number of microorganisms. So there's about 100 trillion bacteria living in your gut. The good bacteria must be winning the war against the bad bacteria. So this is vital to your health and to prevent disease. Research shows that your gut flora can affect numerous processes in your body, including your metabolism, energy production, nutrition, and genetic expression. Good bacteria leads to nutrient absorption, regulated body weight, infection prevention, protected integrity of your gut lining, decreased food allergies, reduced inflammation, and good digestion, of course. And it really helps you to absorb or break down certain vitamins and minerals. We have like vitamin K, B12, biotin, and medium chain fatty acids. If your bacteria is really bad, you're going to have a hard time, or if you're missing a lot of certain microbes, you're going to have a hard time breaking down or absorbing a lot of nutrients and vitamins and minerals. So it's just going to make it hard for you to really get all of these vitamins, even if you're kind of eating them or you're kind of taking supplements and you don't have these microbes and stuff in your body. It's really hard for you to kind of break these things down or for you to be able to utilize them. So it's really key and important for that. So let's highlight what some of these things do. So vitamins A, D, E, and K, which are your fat soluble vitamins. So vitamin A helps your immune system, glandular system, digestive system, skin, vision, and bones. So vitamin A is pretty much like if you want like good night vision, you're going to want to have lots of good vitamin A. And even if you're eating a lot of stuff and you don't have good microbes or bacteria, it's hard for your body to kind of really absorb these nutrients or break things down. Vitamin D supports, it's pretty popular one. We pretty much know a lot about vitamin D because it's always mentioned and stuff when we go to the doctor, but it helps with your teeth and bones, regulates calcium, protein synthesis, nervous system, and kidneys, and it fights depression. So if you have feelings of anxiety, depression, things like that, you could also be low in vitamin D. We're going to get more into that a little bit later too as well. Vitamin E oxygenates tissues, it protects your cells, membranes, helps to form red blood cells, and prevents clotting. So vitamin E is also really important. Vitamin K, we know about vitamin K and vitamin D for bones and stuff like that. So it helps with liver, bones, healthy skin, prevents hip fractures, skin blemishes, and discoloration. You could be not really absorbing vitamin K very well. When it all goes wrong, you could have an imbalance between your good bacteria and your bad bacteria, which is called a gut dysbiosis. This can lead to a number of health problems, including weight gain. So when you have a gut dysbiosis, this is when you're going to start to see more serious things that sort of come into your life and body. So you're going to start noticing some of these things happening when you have a gut dysbiosis. So you will see weight gain that could be happening with you. That's just really stubborn, hard for it to kind of go. IBS, adult acne, GERD or acid reflux, diabetes, digestive disorders, sleep disorders, anxiety, and mental disorders. So there's so much things just could be happening from your gut when things are just not really working well. And there's more symptoms and things that could be happening from having a dysbiosis. So just make note of this because we're going to be stopping to record some of these symptoms and stuff on your worksheet next. So fatigue, if you get lots of colds easily, or you get sick often, or adrenal fatigue, or you're just really exhausted all the time, food allergies, or you have low immunity, liver problems like fatty liver, or just feelings of just not really having good blood markers and stuff when you go to the doctor, inflammation, anxiety, depression, and autoimmune disease. So how many symptoms do you have? Take some time to write in your worksheet. If you have any symptoms that you may have current or past, and you can just chat a little bit about maybe what bothers you the most, or if you have anything, you can just sort of shout it out if you had it in the past or currently. Or maybe we're all healthy. We don't have anything wrong with us. Well, that's also good. But at least if you're here, I think there's maybe at least weight gain or weight loss, right? For a lot
Okay.
of you.
For me, I have a cold. I would have fatigue because I'm very tired. And I have issues losing the weight. Sometimes I get anxious. So yeah.
Cold, losing weight. Do
I'm
you
gonna
get
be
do you get colds often or easily, or you think your immune
No,
system is pretty good?
I don't really get them often, but I do get them. So yeah,
Okay.
I would add it to the list, and I would say that I don't sleep as well as I should. So I would think that I have some issues here.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Anybody else?
Well, years ago, like in my 20s, I had to go to a GI doctor, and he put me on acid reflux medication.
Wow.
He said that I had peptic ulcers in my stomach.
Okay.
And he said it means you need to cut down the acid that's in your stomach. So he put me on acid reflux medicine. I'm in my 20s. I'm in my 60s now. So I've been taking it a long time. Since I started with you, Chris, I was able to cut the dosage into half.
Yeah, we want
But
to get you
I,
off of that completely
I
if we
know, but
could.
I've never been, I may could just not take it anymore. I just have never been comfortable stopping it because it makes my stomach hurt really bad. So in the past, that's in the past, right? So I've never gone any length of time without taking at least one a day. But I
Yeah,
would
that
like
would be
to
a
get
good
off of
goal to kind of get off that completely because if your stomach acid is too low, you don't really get to break down a lot of probiotics and stuff like that, or really absorb a lot of vitamins and minerals. So it makes it difficult for your stomach to really function when
taking
it's really low.
omeprazole. That's not good for you. So
Wow.
yeah, I definitely am interested in what I could do to, replace that. To make it where I don't have to take that
I
anymore.
think you're pretty close to getting off of that and just really restoring everything because you probably don't need it as much with how you've been eating now, but I think you can probably tighten some things up a little bit more. Factors that disrupt your gut flora would be things like antibiotics, poor diet, chronic stress is a huge one, environmental toxins like things from the environment or from foods or a lot of these chemicals and stuff. So you have to be careful of your beauty products and things you cook with, things you clean with. Those are very important. And this is what I'm talking about here, digestive distress. So low stomach acid really disrupts your gut flora, as well as any kind of toxic overload again. So really tying back into the environmental toxins and just toxic, even toxic food and things like that. Ingredients that your body doesn't really know or understand is also very toxic to the body. So foods and bacteria for health and weight loss. So foods and good bacteria for mental health and anxiety. So you definitely want to make sure you're going to see a lot of foods overlapping here that you want to make sure that you're going to be eating them often. So omega-3 foods, rich omega-3 foods with things like salmon, flax seeds, walnuts, dark chocolate, leafy greens, and fermented foods like sauerkraut and yogurt. These are all good for mental health and anxiety. And then the good bacteria you want to focus on. So when you're actually looking to get any kind of probiotics or any kind of supplements, you want to make sure that you're going to see these different types of species that you're looking for. You want to start to understand what they are. So lactobacillus is the species, and there's a lot of different types of species and stuff that go along. So you're going to see the last name that you're going to see. So lactobacillus has a lot of different types of species that are there, and bifidobacterium species are linked to improved mood and reduced symptoms of anxiety and depression. So some people, when they're having really poor mental health and stuff like that, or they're facing a lot of depression and anxiety, and when we look at their gut, they don't have a lot of these bacteria and stuff present in their gut. So it makes it hard for them to produce the neurotransmitters and stuff like that, like serotonin, so you can feel good. So that's when you want to jot down foods and good bacteria for balancing blood sugar and reversing type 2 diabetes. So you want to focus on leafy greens, nuts, whole grains, legumes. Cinnamon is one thing you definitely want to start including, and foods with a low glycemic index like sweet potatoes and quinoa. Of course, you want to avoid refined sugars and processed carbs. And the bacteria you want to focus on is Lactobacillus plantarum and Akkermansia. Akkermansia is a pretty popular thing that we're going to talk about a lot more shortly. They have been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and to help to regulate blood sugar levels. So these microbes, all the microbes in our gut are really important and they definitely play a role. And when we have a lot more of them, This is why I'm always talking about having more sauerkraut and more fermented foods and pickles and kimchi and stuff like that, which we're going to start to get into more of that too. But start jotting down some stuff and seeing like if you have any issues with blood sugar or whatever, you want to start consuming more of these types of bacteria in your diet. Foods and good bacteria for weight loss and belly fat. So again, it's lots of high fiber foods, chia seeds and flax seeds, oats, lean protein sources like chicken, fish, and legumes, and healthy fats like avocados and olive oil. So a lot of you like know a lot of this stuff already, which you should already be eating, but just a reminder to get a lot of this stuff in your diet and to maybe tighten things up a little bit. If you've been slipping, maybe some of these things you're not consuming regularly enough in your diet, which is why you're not getting the results that you want. We also want to focus on green tea and foods rich in probiotics like yogurt. You're going to see that come up a lot. Kefir, they can also boost metabolism. You guys definitely should be having lots of yogurt, lots of kefir by now, lots of stuff like that. Bacteria that you want to focus on for weight loss and belly fat, Lactobacillus gasseri and Bifidobacterium brevis are specifically linked to reducing belly fat and by influencing fat storage. So they did a lot of studies and stuff like that. And people who didn't really change anything as far as diet and exercise and just started consuming more probiotics were able to lose a lot more weight, the group that had probiotics versus the group that didn't. So just by adding probiotics to your diet and making sure that some of these different species are covered, you'll be able to lose more weight. And you'll be able to lose it more easily without you having to really, focus on stuff because the bacteria that will be in your gut will just start to go to work for you and it's going to make your life a lot easier. So let's look at some of the foods and bacteria to try to shrink some of your fat cells. So they prevent your fat cells from growing or getting larger. When you have just regular sized fat cells or smaller fat cells, it makes it more harder for you to really gain weight. So there is a ANGPTL4. So it's angiopoietin like protein 4 is a protein that helps regulate fat storage by inhibiting the formation of new fat cells and reducing fat accumulation. It's a really fancy kind of term or name for this one, but you can definitely start focusing on some of these things that we're going to help you to get more of this stuff into your body. So again, we're going to see some fatty fish like salmon and mackerel. I know a lot of you have salmon, but mackerel's not really popular, which is just start really consuming or eating some more mackerel. These foods are rich in omega-3, so omega-3s have a link or a tie into your gut health as well. Fiber-rich vegetables like broccoli and spinach and kale can promote fat metabolism. And fermented foods, again, also encourage the activity of probiotics that influence AGNPTL4. Okay, so you want to really start focusing on that stuff. So start jotting down. Salmon is pretty common. You want to start eating more of that. Mackerel, you want to start eating some mackerel if you can. You can find mackerel. A lot of people from Caribbean, the islands know about mackerel. Sometimes not a lot of North Americans eat mackerel, but it is. I grew up eating that, so it's a pretty popular. It's a nice tasting fish. You can get it even in the canned variety, just like you get tuna. And then the good bacteria that you need to focus on. So Lactobacillus rhamnosus and Lactobacillus plantarum. So these are some of the bacteria that you want to look for in a probiotic or start to really try to find foods that have more of these things in it. Definitely going to help you to keep your fat cells smaller. So this just makes you open your eyes to really see how important probiotics in your gut health really is. They say that all disease begins in the gut. When I started looking to all of this stuff, I just noticed how much that is almost really true, right? So foods and bacteria control appetite and burn more fat. So here's something that you may have heard a lot about. This is GLP-1. This has been made popular by drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy. So GLP-1, don't try Ozempic or don't take it at all, but we're going to talk more about that. So this is a glucagon-like peptide 1. So it's a hormone that's made in the gut that reduces appetite and it helps regulate blood sugar, which in turn can promote fat burning and weight loss. So this is kind of why it's so popular. So let's tell you a little bit how it works. So if you have all the right microbes, specifically Akkermansia, so basically in your gut, you'll naturally produce postbiotics and a protein called P9, which will stimulate the body to produce the hormone GLP-1 after meals. So you can naturally produce this hormone if you have a lot of akkermansia in your diet or in your gut or in your body. This hormone then tells your body to metabolize the sugar in the bloodstream and lets your brain know that you're full. So it lets you know that you're full, and it helps to metabolize more sugar in the bloodstream. So it helps you to burn through your sugar and stuff more quickly or more easily. So after a while, GLP-1 goes down until the next time you eat, and then it spikes again, which is kind of the natural order of things. So if you're low or missing akkermansia, you'll not stimulate the production of this hormone. So a lot of people just don't have akkermansia in their body. It's very, very low. And the weight loss drugs on the market mimic GLP-1, and it gets injected into the bloodstream directly, keeping your levels elevated all the time, which is, of course, very, very dangerous. So weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy, and there's lots of different ones coming on the market, they're pretty much just capitalizing on just people's ignorance and not really knowing a lot of stuff about their gut. So basically, you can get probiotics that will do the same thing as Ozempic does. So these drugs artificially elevate GLP-1 24/7. And because this hormone also affects your brain as well as your digestive system, this can lead to like suicidal thoughts, stomach paralysis, pancreatic cancer, and more. So in fact, there's already been like about 162 people that have died, and up to 90% experience an adverse event on these and similar medications. So akkermansia is one of these microbes that have been getting a lot of attention because of what it does. Quite frankly, a lot of people still don't really know about it. So it's kind of like a secret. But Akkermansia muciniphila is a gut bacteria that lives in the mucus layer of the intestines, and it can be taken as a probiotic, and it can help improve metabolic health. So it plays a huge role in the stimulation of GLP-1, and it's so beneficial that it should make up about 10% of your gut microbiome. But a lot of people do not have this. This is why the weight loss drugs that I just mentioned previously work for people, because people just are really not able to kind of do this on their own. So, but if you really focused on increasing this naturally, and I'm going to talk about some supplements and stuff that have just come out on the market that you can sort of that you can take yourself as well to increase these things and promote more GLP-1 in your body. But you can increase your levels of akkermansia by eating foods that are rich in polyphenols, such as onions. So you want to really cook with onions a lot, and garlic, leeks, artichokes, yams. You can use agave, bananas, Brussels sprouts, okra, cauliflower, broccoli, and chicory root. So I can see these are a lot of things that people don't like to eat, apart from like onions and garlic. People really cook with stuff like that, but a lot of people don't like to eat a lot of this stuff, which is why we're not really having a lot of this in our gut microbiome. Brussels sprouts gets a hard rap sometimes. Okra, not a lot of people like that. Besides cauliflower and broccoli, these are things that people eat, but you want to start eating more of this stuff on the list. Definitely always want to cook with onions and garlic, have bananas and stuff in your smoothies, have more Brussels sprouts, and just kind of explore. Make sure that you're not having the same 10 or 15 foods over and over again. And then there's natural GLP-1 boosters that you want to start having in your diet. There are high fiber foods like oats, beans, and leafy greens. Fermented foods like yogurt and sauerkraut. Again, you're going to see that a lot. So lots of sauerkraut coming up, lots of kefir coming up. You want to have good yogurt, a nice, good organic yogurt that doesn't have a lot of sugar and stuff in it. These foods help to support the bacteria that helps to release GLP-1. When you get a lot of this stuff in your body, I mean, it's a lot more easier for you to lose weight and keep it off. Like, people have lost weight with Ozempic because of the GLP-1 hormone. So it's a real hormone that's in your body, that's produced by your gut, that will help you. But if you don't do a lot of these things, if you don't have a good gut health, you're not going to be able to do this naturally. Fasting is also another thing that helps to elevate GLP-1. So fasting is really good. So when you fast, whether you're doing a water fast or a juice fast, you're going to actually stimulate this and produce this more too as well. So fasting is really good. And I'm going to introduce you to RX Sugar, and as well as Pendulum Probiotics. So they have a few things on the market now that you can start really taking and consuming that can help you to make your whole gut life a lot better and healthier, and help you to get more weight off your stomach, lose more weight, just set your body up so you have a better system to kind of burn fat. So Pendulum Probiotics, I'm going to send you in the replay after I talk about this. I'm going to have some more information I can share with you. But this company has some really great products. This information is for educational purposes only, so you really want to do your own research. So I'm not really telling you to go out and get it, but I think these products are really good. It would be a good idea to also test your microbiome prior to supplementing. But I want you to know that these products are out there. So instead of getting like those weight loss drugs, you can be taking these things instead, which are a lot more healthier and natural for the body. So they have a GLP-1 formula probiotic that has all the microbes that we talked about. And they also have our Akkermansia and stuff like that. So these are becoming more popular. It's mainly known amongst health people like myself, not so much in the public yet, but we do want to get awareness and stuff out there. But these things exist, and it's a lot more cheaper, safer, and healthier to kind of take this stuff than taking weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy. And there's also another product called RX Sugar. Now, this company makes a product called allulose. They make a bunch of allulose-based sugars, syrups, and snacks. Allulose is a natural sweetener. It's pretty new to the market. It's similar to fructose, but it doesn't raise your blood sugar at all. So you can cook with it, you can bake with it, you can use it for like syrup. You can use the syrup and stuff on your pancakes. And they're pretty much really going after the health market. They're delicious, non-GMO product, project verified. So it's non-GMO, it's keto certified, it's plant-based. So kosher, halal, sugar, syrup, and snacks. They have a lot of snacks and stuff too that you can start to take. They have a lot of different things that you can that are made with this. I have actually a coupon that I will share with you. I have a discount that I'll share with you so you guys can try it. I'll send you the link to the website. You guys can try it and order it. And just having like a little tub of sugar, you can start using that. This could be something that you can try to make if you have things you want to make a lot sweeter. If you want to bake things, this would be a pretty good idea. So I'll send you a discount that I have for that. I think it's 20% off, so you guys can try it. So here's some foods to focus on for your probiotics and your digestion. So we've already been talking about a lot of this stuff throughout the presentation. So fermented foods, of course, really important. Miso is something you want to start consuming. Kefir is always coming up, lots of good probiotics in there. Sauerkraut, you want to just consume that regularly. Kimchi. And there's a few other things that I'll probably recommend that you guys have a look at or do a Google search for. There's Inner Eco. They have a probiotic coconut water. So you can start even just kind of consuming that with your meal and getting a little bit of probiotics. You kind of want to have probiotics, a little bit of probiotics at each meal if you could, in different forms. So whether it's sauerkraut or kimchi or having some probiotic coconut water, just having different varieties and forms of different fermented foods are really going to help your gut out. Most people just are not doing these things, and they have really a poor ratio of good bacteria to bad bacteria. BioCult is another company that has some good gut health supplements. Good Belly has a probiotic drink that's out there. How many people have heard about some of these probiotics and stuff like that, or have started to have some of these things in their diet so far? You can just shout it out if you've been having anything.
I do sauerkraut, bit
Yes,
pickles.
sauerkraut's pretty popular. Pickles, yeah, pickles and sauerkraut. Like miso and kimchi are more like Japanese foods that you probably would have had if you've tried that or had that. Anybody else have tried anything?
Heard of some of them, but I haven't really tried them.
Okay. Good, yeah. So yeah, just opening your eyes to kind of trying a lot of these things because they do make a huge difference and help you to really stay healthy. And then there's, of course, organic yogurt. There's dairy and non-dairy varieties. Okay, so you want to consume both probiotics and prebiotics. Prebiotics pretty much feed the probiotics, so they're food for the probiotics, and they help you to have. Natalie says she has tried Ozempic. And now you can replace that. Now maybe can help you to get off of that and to get you using some healthier options or alternatives. So you want to consume both probiotics and prebiotics, are essential for a healthy gut flora and overall health and weight loss. Prebiotics are non-digestible food ingredients that stimulate the growth and or activity of bacteria in the digestive system, and they just kind of really help to boost your health.
So, Chris, is the apple cider vinegar, is that considered a prebiotic?
Apple cider vinegar would be, I think it could have both, depending on, I think it's mostly a prebiotic, but I think it could have both. I'll have to double check that. I think it could have both, but it's definitely
Okay.
really, really good.
Because, having the cranberry drink in the morning.
Yeah, having the cranberry drink really gets, that's a really good thing to do. This is why I have you guys do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at just some more things about prebiotics. Again, they're non-digestible foods that help you to move through your digestive system, that help the good bacteria to grow. So you just can't have probiotics. You just can't have these things. You have to make sure that you feed them, basically. So if you introduce a lot of probiotics and stuff into your body, you have to continue to feed them by giving them good foods and prebiotics. So they want a lot of fiber. They want a lot of these things. They want a lot of food so that they stay alive and they thrive in your gut. So things that would be like a good combination, you can see an example of prebiotics and probiotics combined, which would be things like kefir again and yogurt. So you should have like some kefir in your fridge regularly. Always have some yogurt regularly. Have some things like kombucha regularly too. And always have something a couple times a week. That way you'll be on top of your gut health. So here are some prebiotic foods that you want to start consuming on a regular basis. So there's raw chicory root, raw Jerusalem artichoke, raw dandelion greens. I mean, those three are not that popular. Garlic is pretty popular. Raw leek, raw and cooked onion, raw banana, and asparagus. So from this list, you want to be able to start cooking with a lot of this stuff more often, having bananas in your shake, having more asparagus. So a lot of the stuff is not really difficult or hard. You just kind of really need to start doing it more often. So these are some steps you want to start taking to improve your gut health and lose belly fat. So you want to take a high quality plantain. You want to take a high quality probiotic. I'd have to look at that. Plantain might be the same as banana. I'd have to see. I'm thinking it would be the same thing as far as having those beneficial prebiotic foods for the bacteria. I'm pretty sure that it is. So I'll have to kind of look at that and see if it is. But you want to take a high quality probiotic formula that will treat your gut to billions of beneficial bacteria that you can work to support your metabolism at its very core. You want to load up on fermented foods for a powerful probiotic feast. So again, we have kombucha, we have sauerkraut, we have kimchi. These are all great sources of friendly flora, some good bacteria. You want to feed the probiotics in your gut with prebiotics. So those are indigestible fibers that are your belly bug's favorite food source. So you also want to have things like honey and oats and bananas and asparagus and onions, and add a daily prebiotic powder supplement sometimes if you want to go the extra mile. You can also do a functional lab test to determine the health of your gut and microbiome. And there's actually a test that shows you how much Akkermansia that you have in your gut and in your body, as well as other beneficial microbes that you should be having in your gut and your whole microbiome. So there's really a lot of ways to kind of make this happen. It's just that we're not doing it and we're looking for the quick fix. And then as a result, we get injured or we get sick. But your gut bacteria, it's linked to so many things. It's linked to your sleep. It's linked to diabetes. It's linked to a lot of autoimmune diseases and conditions. It's linked to depression and anxiety. It's linked to, of course, your weight. There's so many things that can go wrong when we don't have these microbes in there. You also want to avoid antibiotics when possible, both as a medicine and in the food supply. So you want to make sure that you're not drinking tap water because that has a lot of antibiotic wastes that kind of get distributed or contaminated in the water supply. You want to steer clear of antibacterial cleaners and chemicals because those can also kill your good bacteria. So you want to look for natural cleaners, gentle soap, water, baking soda, and apple cider vinegar, right? These are all things you want to start using more of because you want to protect your good bacteria when you do get them. A lot of them are very fragile. So you can see, you'll notice sometimes when you're getting a probiotic, some bacteria do not like the presence of oxygen. If they get exposed to oxygen, they can die. So that's why if you get certain probiotic strains do not like oxygen, and certain microbes or certain bacteria like different environments. Some like more anaxidic environments. Some are pretty much resilient. So there's different strains and stuff that you can really focus on. Then we also get into the bad bacteria and stuff. And a lot of the bad bacteria is like more acidic environments. Sometimes they thrive, like when you have parasites and funguses and things like that, they thrive sometimes more in an acidic environment. So they try to make your gut more acidic so they can live longer and last longer in your body. So you also want to limit exposure to environmental toxins. Not only do these harm your beneficial microbes, but they can also disrupt your hormonal balance as well, which is critical for staying a healthy weight. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed just what I shared with you today. If you have any questions, we can just chat a bit before we hop off.